Hey guys, it's Jessica, and today I'm going to show you how I got ready using a bunch of new products that I bought at Ulta. There were a couple of other products I splashed in that are just from a regular drugstore or from Sephora as well, because I didn't buy enough from Ulta this time to do like a full face, but I wanted to get ready with you showing you a full face. So I used Ebates on this shopping trip. I talk about Ebates all the time because I love it, and they're actually sponsoring this video. A lot of you guys already use Ebates, so if you already do, fast forward, because I know you're like, oh, not again. But for those that haven't heard, Ebates, you literally just get cash back on buying things online that you're already gonna buy. So I will put some of my favorite places to shop online down below and what their current cash back is. But it's so easy. You can install a little browser button so it will alert you when you're on a website like Sephora or Ulta where there is cash back. It will say, hey, it's 8% cash back today, or it's 6% cash back. You can click it and automatically, whatever you buy in that shopping trip, you'll automatically get cash back in your Ebates account. It's so easy. A lot of you guys have had amazing experiences. Please let us know below so you don't have to just take my word for it. You can take other people's word for it as well. If you enjoy this style of video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up so that I know, and stick around for more videos. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I'm putting on is my Kohl Vino Perfect Radiance Serum. I love this. I did a video with them in the past. This is not a video with them, but I love this stuff. I put it on every single morning. It sinks into my skin so fast. Next thing I'm going to use is from The Ordinary. It's their Natural Moisturizing Factors plus HA, and it's their surface hydration formula. It's just a moisturizer, and it's really, really good. Also going to use my Clinique Pep Start Eye Cream, which I've just been using a lot. It's okay. I don't think you need to spend the money on something like this if it's just a morning, you know. You can use whatever you're using. Technically, a lot of experts say you don't need a separate eye cream. You can just use your regular moisturizer. I just like eye creams. Oops, I've got a little gunk from my eye. Gross. I just like using eye creams. It's just one of those things that I guess I'm weird about. So I've been using this in the mornings. I use a different one at night. So I'm going to use this Model's Own Face Base. It's a face primer, and it's their illuminating. I've tried this once this week, and it is glittery. Straight up glittery. I'm going to use it so you guys can see how it works, but it is truly, truly glittery. So it has a squeezy tube, but it has a pump on the end, which I love. It has a kind of beige color to it. Let's just kind of lightly buff it in. Just realizing my mirror is way off to the side. There we go. There we go. It's a very, very illuminating one. You guys, I wish you could have seen me. I was laughing so hard the other morning. I was tired. You know when you're tired and you just are like maniacal in ways. I was cracking up alone early in the morning getting ready for work because there's so much glitter in this. I mean, it's just pure glitter. Look at my face right now. And I have dry skin. So, I don't know. I don't know. It looked all right under the foundation, but I don't think it extended the wear of my foundation, and it's just so glittery. I just don't think that I like this. And I've only used it twice, so I'll use it some more. But this lip balm I love, I just put on, it's the Shea Moisture African Watermint and Ginger Shea Butter Lip Balm. And I just kind of randomly saw it online and thought, I'm going to try that. And I'm glad I did. It was so cheap. It feels amazing. My lips are loving it. So I have two different foundations I can put on. I have tried both this week. This is the Buxom Show Some Skin Weightless Foundation, and I got it in the shade Fair. They put Fair Game. Cute. I guess maybe that's the shade name, Fair Game. But I also got the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Ultra Definition Liquid Makeup. It says it's peptide infused, light diffusing, paraben free, and I got it in the shade 1.0. So the Buxom one is a little bit more coverage than the Naked Skin one, and I think since I'm filming today, that's what I would like to do. The Naked Skin one is a lot thinner. You have to shake it, and I'll show you the formula even though I'm not using it. It's a very liquidy formula, very, very liquidy, and you can apply it with your fingers, with the brush, with the beauty blender. Anytime you use a beauty sponge, it's going to shear it out a little bit more, but I still like this applied best with the beauty blender. Now, with your fingers, it's okay. With the brush, it stays on a little bit better, but sometimes I feel like you can see the lines of it a little bit more. And when I say see the lines, I mean like the brush just kind of brushes it back and forth and it never fully blends in. But the Buxom one is a little bit more high coverage, as I said. I'll use a brush for this today just so you can really see. I typically use a beauty blender, but I'm just curious to see how it does with a brush. I think this is actually a decent shade match for me. It's a little bit because it brings my facial skin closer to what my actual skin tone is, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to use my my Lagour brush I got on Amazon for like 12 bucks. I'll link it below. I think it's just as good as the Artiste ones, and I've done a video about that. But this gives just, you know, a decent amount of coverage. I don't remember what it says, weightless. It says show some skin, so I think the idea is that you can still see your skin, but it just looks a little bit more beautified. So I would say this is probably medium coverage foundation. I look like an oil slick right now, and I really think it's that primer, because I wore this foundation with like a regular primer, and I feel like it looked so much better. So I think this foundation is best with, like, if you have oily skin especially, with a very mattifying primer. Even if you have dry skin, I feel like you should use a more like pore filling mattifying primer, just because it itself is a very natural kind of satin look, and it's looking so greasy over this really greasy that greasy primer. Ugh, that is a regret of mine. I'm gonna use this really expensive. I'm laughing because it's so expensive, it's like a joke. I did not buy this. This I got for free through Octoly, and I had posted a long time ago. I've talked about this as a regret. I didn't buy it, but like as something I didn't really think was worth the money. I'm starting to change my mind, and I don't mean go out and buy this, because I still stand by the fact that nothing this expensive should be, I don't know, it's just too expensive. But my skin, anytime I've tried this out, has looked so much more, oh my gosh, like flawless by the end of the day. And when I say flawless, I mean my skin, whatever I put on stays. The blush, anything I put on top of it does not budge. It's kind of the craziest thing. Oh, that's way too much, Jessica. But I've been really enjoying setting my face with this lately. That might be too much, because it really is making it look more flawless than like anything else I've like ever used. It's kind of crazy. And do you see how much more mattified instantly my skin is? Oh, wow. But I do think you can get even high-end products that are half the price of this that do the same thing. Because I have it, I've been trying it more, and I'm like, it's really good. So I should have waited to set. I always do this, because I do have concealers. So I have this Becca under eye brightening corrector that I purchased. I haven't really heard much about, and I haven't even tried this. Isn't the packaging ridiculous? It's that beautiful rose gold, totally sucks you in, but it's so pretty. So I think I'm gonna try this, but I'm also gonna try my Laura Geller The Real Deal Concealer. I'm just gonna try both. And I got this in the shade Light. The Becca one, by the way, is it's just one shade. It's their brightening under eye corrector. So I'm gonna use the under eye corrector just a little bit, just in the corners where I have kind of bluish tones. And then I'll use the concealer just like underneath my eye and stuff like that. I'm just gonna tap this in with my finger. It looks like it's canceling it out pretty well. What do you guys think? I'm like covering it with my finger. What do you guys think? I don't think like it's completely gone. So let's try. I know that this Laura Geller stuff, I did use it once this week, and it is, like they say, serious coverage. I'm never gonna run out of this, you know? You use the tiniest amount, and it reminds me of like the Glamoflage, which is like a drugstore version. Oh my gosh. Now this is the lightest shade, and look, it's like, I think a little bit too like orangey yellow for me, but let's do it anyway. I'm gonna use a drugstore brush. This is part of that Moda line where they have like all the different brushes at Walmart. I actually really like it. So I'm gonna use this smaller one to blend this in. I haven't done it with a brush yet. I usually use a sponge, and by usually I mean the one time I've used this. So you can still see my fine lines, but, and again, I could have used a fourth of what I just used. It's spreading like all the way across my face. But I do think it's got pretty good coverage. It is definitely settling into my fine lines. So that's kind of my verdict with that. I think it's nice. Do I think this is worth the higher price? I don't know. I feel like you could get the Hard Candy Glamoflage and it does the exact same thing, and it's like $6 or $7. Pixi has one that's a little bit cheaper. You can get it at Target. It's their Correcting Concentrate and Brightening Peach, but let me show you the tone difference between these. When you look at just the pans, it looks like there's not really a huge difference, but there really is. The Pixie one is a lot more deeper and a lot less creamy than the Becca one. It just depends on what you like. I think the Becca one looks a little bit more natural, but I think the Pixie one might have higher coverage. So you got to kind of keep that in mind. And I know the Pixie one, I think they do have a couple of shades, so at least you could maybe mix. Maybe they do have a lighter shade that I just didn't see. That would be closer to the Becca one. All right, brows are done. I use my Anastasia Dip Brow in medium brown. I use it constantly. I just use a little e.l.f. Duo brush. I've been using it for months and I really like it. I wanted to set my under eye really quickly with my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I've had this a while. This is not a haul item, but I do need to set it with something because it keeps settling. For bronzer, I'm going to use my number 7 Golden Sand Bronzer. I didn't buy a bronzer this time around. But a lot of you guys have asked how it looks when you apply it. So I'm just using a smaller but fluffy brush. And it's not super pigmented, I wouldn't say, but it's just right for me because I don't need a sharp contour. I don't need anything like that. I just like to be a little bit bronze, a little bit more defined. And I just love the tone of this bronzer for my skin tone. They have a couple of shades. This is just the one I use, Golden Sand. So the blush I'm using is a new one from Hourglass. They had sent me these. These are their ambient strobe lighting blushes, and this is in Brilliant Nude. And these are just really, really pretty. Sorry, they're doing yard work. They have been for hours. It's just like the perfect, like if you didn't have a bronzer with you, this is so beautiful. So it can get really heavy-handed. Like really heavy-handed. So I'm gonna go back in with my foundation brush, and I like to just kind of buff these kinds of things into the skin and make them look a little bit more seamless. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not perfect, not even close. It's like I tell my students, I'm like, please, you catch my mistakes all the time. You know I'm not perfect. No one is perfect. So I really like the shade of that so much, and those are so finely milled. All of their powders, their bronzers are as well. So anyway, I have 2 highlights to choose from. This first one's from Model's Own, and it's their Sculpt and Glow Highlighting Powder in Peach Pearl. Let me show you a swatch of this. This is the most beautiful packaging, beautiful kind of iridescent, purplish, pinkish peach color I've ever seen. Isn't that beautiful? I also got this Pure Illuminating Powder in Afterglow. My best friend Laura loves this highlighter, and I always borrow it. When we're getting ready together, I always borrow it because I love it. So I finally bought it, and it's this beautiful golden tone highlight. When you apply it to your skin, it looks unbelievable. I don't know how to describe it, and I've never found a powder that looks as nice as this. So I want to use this so you guys can see it, but the Model's Own one I'll be comparing to a high-end one that I'm pretty sure it is a perfect dupe for, but that is in a future video. So I'm just using my e.l.f. highlighting brush to apply the Pure one. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And it's one of those highlights that like never moves throughout the day. It just stays in place and looks as ridiculous as it does when you apply it, even at the end of the day. It's so glowy. It's one of those ones that like at summer, I feel like this is like the most ideal summertime highlight. Look at that. So I'm gonna use this NYX No Filter Finishing Powder. This is one I bought at Ulta previously, not this trip, but I just like to use this powder to kind of blend everything together, even the highlight. It tones everything down just a little bit, adds a little bit more coverage. I just love these kinds of powder foundations where they're just so beautiful. They blend your bronzer and blush, everything kind of together a little bit more, and just kind of sets everything. So for my eyes, I'm gonna use my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I don't know, I know MAC just started getting sold at Ulta online so far. It's not like in stores near me yet, but that's really exciting because then you can use, you know, Ulta points on them, etc. Well, I don't know, I know they're not selling the entire MAC collection, so I think paint pots are on there. I'm gonna check and I will put on the screen right now, but I love this one in Soft Ochre. I also like Painterly, but I'm a little bit more partial to Soft Ochre. It's a little bit more yellow based for me, but I love this. I've been using this as an eye primer for a long time. Holds onto your shadow and it kind of cancels out any veining or discoloration you might have. I am drinking cold coffee, and it's Café du Monde if you've ever had that. It's from New Orleans, but they sell it in some stores near us, so we always buy it, and it's kind of like our weekend special coffee. Okay. Oh man, I forgot. I also have this NYX Dose of Dew, and it is this gorgeous, it's a stick, but it is this beautiful iridescent cream. Now I want to put that on. I forgot I also had that. Isn't that gorgeous? But what I've done is I just stuck it like right here and then just grabbed a brush or a blender. It looks best, I think, with a beauty sponge. But if you could literally just put a stripe right there and then use your beauty blender to kind of blend it in, and it's so flawless. It's not powdery because it's not a powder. This is gorgeous. I completely forgot that I bought this time around. So beautiful, so cheap. Go buy it. Go buy it. You will be so glad you did. All right. So I have 2 eyeshadow palettes that I purchased there. I bought the NYX Perfect Filter palette, and this one is the one that's called Olive You. And I thought, oh my gosh, the pans of these are so big. This is so beautifully pigmented. I love the combination of colors. It's got matte, it's got shimmer. So that was really exciting. Now those do not come with a brush. I also bought the Model's Own Barely There palette. Look at the shades of this. Just ignore the little dip. My nail dug into one of them. It freaks me out. Look at the shades. It reminds me of the Lorac Pro 3, and it reminds me of one of the Lorac Unzipped palettes. These shades in this are so beautiful. They have like 6 or 8 palettes. I love the packaging. They're so cool. I have to admit, guys, I swatched them and I was like, they're all right. I regret it. These are not great. I've used this week. I'll show you some swatches. I loved the color combinations, but I have to admit, once I started swatching it and then I used it, some of them are great. Some of them are just okay. It's kind of a hit or miss. The shimmers you'd think would be crazy pigmented, and they're just meh. So I've used this. I haven't tried the NYX one, so I want to try that one with you guys right now. This is just okay. It's still like almost $20, and they were 40% off when I bought it, and so I was like, well, it's at least a lot cheaper this way. I almost bought 2, and I'm really glad I didn't. And it makes me so sad because the colors are so beautiful, but like I said, you can still get an absolutely pretty look out of it, but the shimmers are just not that great. I think the mattes are better than the shimmers. So the NYX Perfect Filter one, let me show you some swatches of this. I think this is so much more buttery, so much more high-end, and I think these were right around the same price. And of course, NYX you can always get, but these shimmers in this are ridiculous. They're so buttery. The only one I thought was kind of crummy was the one that's like this light yellow shade here. It just literally didn't do anything. But the rest of them are so ridiculous. Let's go ahead and apply some of this. I'm gonna try and do it as quickly as I can. I like to use a fluffy brush and like the like light shade just all over my lid to kind of set it all, to set the primer that I put on and to kind of even everything out so no one shadow sticks to anything. Then I'm gonna grab a different brush and I'm gonna grab this matte kind of warm brown shade, and I'm gonna put that in my crease. This is the perfect crease shade. And I'm letting it get a little bit onto my lid as well. It's so easy to blend. I've been very surprised how far it's kind of spreading itself out in a good way. I'm going up pretty close to the brow bone with this. I'll use that light shade at the end to kind of illuminate my brow bone, but I'm letting it, I've got a lot of space there, so I'm gonna kind of fill it all in. So I'm gonna use a thinner, more detailed brush, and I'm gonna get the, I don't know, I'm gonna try this green shade here. It's one of the matte ones, and do it kind of more on the outer corner and a little bit into the crease. These have a tiny bit of fallout, but frankly, like I feel like Lorac shadows have way more fallout. Like this is not bad at all. I filmed a Dollar Tree Get Ready With Me today, and I wiped it all off just because I wanted to do another one here. But I was pleasantly surprised by some of the things, but I was able to be really sloppy with that because the shadows weren't crazy pigmented, but these are way more pigmented, so I need to be more careful than I was. So I'm gonna take this beautiful rose gold bronzy color and put it on my lid. This is so stinking pretty. Oh my gosh. It looks exactly like the MAC Pigment and Tan that I love. I think that one's maybe a little bit more rosy gold, rosy bronze. This is a little more golden bronze. I'm gonna get just a tiny bit more of that medium brown just to blend the whole look a little bit more together. So for my lower lash line, I bought this liner brush from NYX, and it's an angled liner brush. I've never used one like this, but I wanted to try it for my lower lash line, and I'm gonna use that same dark green. Wow. I really like this dark green. I'm gonna coat a little bit more of that here in the outer corner so it blends into that a little bit better. So I'm going to take a thinner, smaller brush, and I'm gonna get that nude shade again and just put it right under my brow bone, just to kind of clean that area up. Really impressed with this palette. Now, they had a couple different versions of it. Now I want to go back and get more because I am very, very impressed. Felt like a very high-end palette. I tightline really quickly with my Pixie Eye Define Waterline I bought at Target. And I'm also going to use some gel liner. I always use, this is my L'Oreal Blackest Black Gel Cream Liner. I use it every single day. So the next one that I did just buy is a new one from NYX. Well, it's new to me. It's their Epic Ink Liner, and it has the brush tip. I think it's supposed to be similar to the Kat Von D one, which I prefer a felt tip, but this is the best kind of a brush tip you could possibly find because it's so similar to a brush tip, if that makes sense. Or it's similar to a felt tip. So let's try. Ooh, it's very black. Oh my gosh, like, I feel like this is blacker than the Kat Von D one is. I might like this. You guys know my favorite is the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Liner. I might like this more. It was so easy to apply. The wing just happened. Oh my gosh. All right, so it is time for mascara. I'm going to brush my lashes out. I am gonna put on fake lashes because I'm planning on filming some more today. And then we're going out tonight to our families for Mother's Day. I hate wearing lashes and things like that, but I might just wear them anyway, just because I like wearing lashes for videos as much as I can, and I actually have the time to put them on today. But I'm using a Tweezerman curler, and it is amazing. They sent this to me a while ago, and they have ones for different eye shapes, so it actually, you know, depending on your eye shape, you can find one that works. I think mine was more for like round eyes, so you can actually get all the way up to your lash band. They have ones that are longer, similar to like the Shiseido one that's really, really long if you have longer eyes. But that one's really expensive. I'm gonna put on mascara first. I'm gonna put on my Superhero It Cosmetics mascara. This stuff, honestly, I don't even need lashes when I wear it. Obviously lashes add more to anything, but when I wear this, which is like every day, I get asked all the time if I'm wearing fake lashes. It's amazing, and I never get asked that. It is just I don't know what in the world is in this. Now, the closest I've found as a dupe is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara, which I can link below as well. It's like literally a fourth of the price, and it is really, really good. I mean, it's like really close. So those are my two favorite mascaras. But this one, it still trumps it just a little bit. It's just, did I already curl this one? I don't remember. Now for lips, I'm gonna use this NYX Epic Ink Lip Dye. I'm a little bit nervous. I've never used it before. It's in the shade Revolt. But my friend Laura had one in a different color and she loved it, so I was really excited to give it a try. So for this, since it's inky, I'm gonna wipe off my lip balm really gently, just because I wanna make sure it sticks. I'm nervous because I don't know if I need to line my lips or not, but I know I swatched it on my hand the other day and it did not come off for days, so I'm like, Jessica, don't screw this up. Okay, so it's just a doe foot applicator. Very thin. Wow, I really like the color. I did not need to line my lips. I don't know, am I supposed to put more than one layer on? It does not say. I'm sure you can. I'm gonna let this dry and maybe put on one more layer, but it's really pigmented, really thin. You can still kind of see your lips through it. Not really though. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just a very thin formula, and they had a pretty good amount of shades. Gosh, I really like this red though. A little bit deeper now that I put a second layer on. So I'm gonna go ahead and while this is drying, put on my lashes. I'm using Duo Glue. You know, it's just like the standard, everyone loves this stuff glue. I am no eyelash connoisseur, I will tell you that, but these are just the Ardell little demi wispies, and it's just a value pack. I love these. I trimmed them a little tiny bit, so I already have one pair I've already worn. I'm gonna wear again. I'm not a snob when it comes to lashes at all, but I do know I really like the way these look when I have them on. So that is a win in my book. I usually just put a strip of glue like on a makeup remover wipe, ironically, and I just dip the lash in the glue. And that's, instead of trying to apply it to the strip, notice it's just a little bit easier. I can get a little bit more even coverage. So while the glue is drying, I bought a new Urban Decay All-Nighter. I usually use my Skindinavia setting spray that I love. They make this as well. So I just bought it, I saw it, and I was like, I'm almost out of that, and they're basically the same product. Oh, the nozzles on these are so amazing. They actually hold on to your makeup all day. So if you enjoyed this style of video where it's kind of more get ready with me haul type of video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know. I hope that you'll subscribe and stick around to catch more of my videos, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.